Do you remember the little sister who could steal a whole scene with one look? I do. Today, we remember Danielle Spencer, the sharp, funny heart of what's happening, and a woman whose life story is bigger than any sitcom. I'm Sarah Reed, and this is Golden American Legends, where we bring the past close enough to feel. Danielle wasn't just a child star. She became Dr. Danielle, a veterinarian and animal advocate. That turn still amazes me. We've combed archives from AP News to ABC's Good Morning America to honor her truthfully and with love. What's your favorite Dee Thomas moment from the show? Drop it below so we can share in that memory together. Here's the part that pulls me in. Behind the laughs, Danielle faced twists that would have broken many adults, let alone a kid. She kept moving, kept smiling, and kept giving. That's not just talent, that's character. In a world of quick fame, Danielle chose depth. We'll start at the beginning, an 11-year-old from New Jersey who became a household name. But long before she ever cared for animals in clinics, fate threw her an unimaginable curveball. Stay with me because this journey will surprise you. How does an 11-year-old from Trenton become a TV star? For Danielle Spencer, it started even earlier. She fell in love with acting at about 8 or 9, taking classes, learning lines, and having fun. She later said acting felt therapeutic to her, and you can feel that joy in every scene. In 1976, she booked the role of Dee Thomas on the new ABC sitcom What's Happening? She was only 11, but she was ready. Over 3 seasons and 65 episodes, she became one of the most familiar faces on family TV. Dee wasn't the lead, but she didn't need to be. With that cool stare and quick mouth, she lit up the room. I smile thinking about her early interviews, the way she talked about the craft like a pro, even as a kid. She took the job seriously, but kept it playful. That balance is rare. The show gave the world a slice of life in Los Angeles, and Dee was the ever-watchful little sister. Fame came fast. Fan mail, set tutors, studio lights. Imagine navigating all that at 11. But fame, especially child fame, isn't smooth. Just as Danielle's star was rising, something happened that changed everything. Next, the moment that nearly ended it all. Watch it, buddy! If you heard Dee say that to Raj, you probably laughed out loud. That line and the way Danielle delivered it shows why the character stuck. She had sharp wit and a deadpan style that was rare for kids on TV then. It wasn't just what she said, it was how she said it. The straight face, the timing, the side eye that could stop a teenager in his tracks. Dee wasn't only comic relief, she was the truth teller. When Raj and his friends drifted into silly ideas, Dee called it out, calmly and honestly. That felt fresh and real, especially in the late 70s. I've rewatched clips where she lands a simple shrug like it's a punchline. That's harder than it looks. Danielle's performance told kids watching at home, you can be small and still be strong. You can be funny without trying too hard. And in a show about a Black family and community, that mattered. But the girl behind the sass was facing something far bigger than a TV plot. Off camera, life came at her fast and hard. Up next, the tragedy that could have taken everything away. 1 year into the show, everything stopped. In 1977, Danielle was in a terrible car accident. Her stepfather and manager, Tim Pelt, was killed. Danielle, just 12, was left in a coma with severe injuries. I always pause here because it's hard to hold the image of Dee cracking jokes on Friday night and then imagine that same kid fighting for her life. Doctors feared she might not survive or fully recover. Months went by in hospitals and rehab. That kind of trauma doesn't go away. It lingers, it changes how you move, it can change how you dream. I think about the pressure on child stars, and then I think about this, a child star who had to relearn and rebuild while the world watched. And yet, her spirit didn't break. The headlines could have ended there. Promising actress, life forever altered. But Danielle had another plan. She fought back, step by step, day by day with her family around her. The big question after a tragedy like this is simple and huge. Could she return to the life she knew? The answer, somehow, was yes, and more. Let's talk about her comeback. What does resilience look like? For Danielle, it looked like walking back onto the set and finishing the job. After months of recovery, she returned to What's Happening and stayed with the series through its 1979 finale. That alone would be a victory story, but she wasn't done. In the mid-80s, she stepped back into Dee's shoes for What's Happening Now and appeared in 16 episodes. She was the only original cast member to return in that way, which tells you how much the character and Danielle meant to the show's legacy. I picture the crew watching her hit marks again, landing that dry humor, proving that the kid they'd rooted for was still right there. Her life didn't snap back to the old normal, but she created a new one. That's courage in action. And then, at a moment when many actors chase the next big role, Danielle did something bold. She traded scripts for science books. She turned the spotlight toward a very different stage, a clinic table, a lab, a quiet exam room where compassion is the craft. How does a sitcom star become a doctor? Here's the turn that surprised everyone. Doctor, not a plot twist, a degree. In 1993, Danielle earned her Doctor of Veterinary Medicine from Tuskegee University. That takes years of hard study, labs, rotations, and grit. After everything her body had endured, she still powered through one of the toughest programs out there. That says so much about her drive. She practiced in clinics and later made a life in Virginia, moving to the Richmond area in 2014. Clients knew her as Dr. Spencer or Dr. D, a calm presence who loved animals and advocated for their care. Even with this new path, she kept a toe in Hollywood. In 1997, she made a small film cameo, a sweet nod to fans who remembered her as Dee. I love this part of her story because it proves we can reinvent and still honor where we came from. By the way, if stories like this matter to you, please subscribe. It helps me bring more thoughtful tributes to your screen. Danielle's work in the clinic showed the same honesty she showed on TV. Clear, caring, no fluff. But careers are one thing, home is another. So who lifted her up when the lights were off? Let's meet the people who stood by her. Behind the camera and away from the clinic, Danielle's world was family. She stayed close to her mother, Cheryl Pelt, and lived with her in Virginia later in life. Her brother, Jeremy Pelt, a jazz trumpeter, talked about her with such love that you can feel it. He called her a loving spirit, his mother's best friend, and an auntie to his 3 kids who adored her. That's the picture that sticks for me. A woman many knew as Dee, sitting at a kitchen table, laughing with her mom, doting on her nieces and nephews, and cheering for her brother's gigs. Fame fades. Family doesn't. People who knew Danielle say she was caring and positive, humble about her TV fame, proud of the hard work it took to earn doctor on her name. Community mattered to her. Animals mattered to her. People mattered to her. Those closest to her saw her strength up close, not on a stage, but in everyday life. And in time, that strength would be tested again. The next chapter wasn't about ratings or reviews. It was about health, hope, and courage in the face of a new fight. Cancer changes everything, and for Danielle, it did so twice. In 2014, she publicly shared that she had breast cancer. She went through treatment and was, for a time, cancer-free. That victory brought relief to fans and family. Years later, a new battle began. By 2025, she was fighting stage 4 cancer, reported as stomach cancer. Early that August, she was hospitalized. Her mother shared that Danielle had pneumonia in both lungs, was receiving IV antibiotics, and was getting nutrients through a tube. It's heartbreaking to picture, but it also shows her fight. Friends say she didn't complain. Haywood Nelson, her co-star, called her Dr. D, our brilliant, loving, positive, pragmatic warrior. That word, warrior, fits. Through the worst moments, she stayed warm, clear-eyed, and grateful for the people around her. When I read those updates, I thought about the girl who came back from a coma and the doctor who soothed scared pets. It's the same spirit, the same quiet strength. As summer moved on, her condition worsened, and then came the final days, heavy and full of love. Here's how her story reached its closing scene. August 11, 2025. After weeks in the hospital, Danielle Spencer passed away at 60. She was in Richmond, Virginia, with her family close. Reports noted complications linked to her long cancer fight, including infection and pneumonia. Her brother, Jeremy, said he was thankful to be by her side until the very end, and he shared how gutted he felt to lose her. Those words carry weight. They show a bond that never broke. Family and friends also said she fought courageously until the end. That phrase may sound simple, but here it means late-night monitors, careful hands, quiet prayers, and a woman who met every hour with grace. The obits honored both of her lives, the kid sister who made America laugh and the doctor who cared for animals with kindness. I imagine her final room filled with memories, set laughter, clinic smiles, family hugs. When the news broke, a wave of love rose up from fans and co-stars. The laughter didn't stop. It turned into tribute, and those tributes tell us how deeply she was loved. Let's listen to what people said. As soon as the news came, timelines filled with Dee clips and stories. People remembered that stare, those one-liners, the way she checked Raj like a pro. Her brother's message summed her up so well. Many of you knew her as Dee, but she was more than a child actress. She was a friend, she was a veterinarian, and someone who always remained positive. Haywood Nelson added a beautiful salute. Dr. Dee, our brilliant, loving, positive, pragmatic warrior. I love seeing fans call her iconic and share the moments that got them through tough days. That's TV magic. But this outpouring wasn't only nostalgia. It was gratitude for a person who grew up, gave back, and faced the hard stuff with dignity. Hundreds of posts, memories, and kind words poured in. In a noisy internet, that kind of harmony stands out. It shows how a little sister character can leave a big mark across generations. So where does that leave us? It leaves us with a legacy to hold and with lessons we can take into our own lives. Let's gather those lessons now.
Here's what I carry from Danielle's life: resilience and reinvention. She survived a near-fatal crash as a child, returned to finish a hit show, and then chose a new calling, earning a DVM in 1993 and serving as a veterinarian and animal advocate. She kept a hopeful heart through a long cancer fight. That is a full life. What's Happening was part of a wave of 1970s shows that centered Black families with humor and heart. Danielle's Dee helped make that world feel real, smart, funny, and honest. And when she stepped away from Hollywood, she proved success can mean caring for a nervous pet in a quiet exam room, not just applause from a studio audience. That dual path inspires me as a cultural historian and as a fan. On Golden American Legends, we try to honor artists who shaped us and the ways they kept shaping the world long after the credits. Danielle did that. Her story invites us to be brave with change and generous with our gifts. Hold that thought because I want to hear your take in a moment. First, let's close this tribute with love and thanks. Laughter, learning, love. That's the echo I hear from Danielle Spencer's life. As Dee, she made us laugh with a single look. As Dr. Danielle, she brought learning and care to animals and families. And through every challenge, she chose love of her craft, her patients, and her people. Danielle Spencer, 1965-2025, forever remembered. Thank you for spending time with me on this tribute. If you discovered something new or felt a spark of memory, please like this video and share it with someone who loved What's Happening. And if you want more heartfelt stories that honor the legends and the lives behind them, please subscribe. Your support helps me keep this work going, digging into archives, interviews, and tributes so we can remember with care. Thanks for watching, truly. I'm Sarah Reed, and this has been a celebration of a life well lived. I'll be in the comments, reading and reflecting with you. What will you remember most about Danielle Spencer? Her wit as Dee, her heart as a doctor, or her courage through it all?